Howdy y'all, I'm Samantha with the Hillbilly Kitchen, and today I'm making pumpkin cupcakes. Okay, it looks like I have everything but the kitchen sink on my workstation here, and I thought about putting it all in little jars to let you all see it, and I thought, no, let's not do that. Let's just do it for real. And now I do have a lot of ingredients, so I've got my recipe here, so I don't miss any when I'm showing you all how to make this. Most of these recipes are spices. Everything else you're going to be used to in cooking already. I would say you have 90% of the ingredients in your pantry right now. Now these cupcakes are going to be really good for kids and adults, for a Halloween party, Thanksgiving party, you know, something to take to Thanksgiving dinner. So the Hillbilly Kitchen is working really hard to get you all holiday recipes out there, because the holiday cooking season is here, and we want you all to have all of our tried and true family recipes ready to go this holiday season. So let's get started. You gonna help me? Okay. I've already preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I've prepared my cupcake pans with papers in them. Now my first ingredient is a box of butterscotch pudding. That's the only boxed ingredient, or pre-prepared ingredient that I use in baking usually, is a pudding mix. Go ahead and add that. Our next ingredient is 2 cups of cake flour. I use cake flour because there is something special about it. You get a fluffier cake when you're done, a lighter, fluffier cake than if you just use all-purpose flour. Out of the way. Next ingredient is your baking soda. You need 2 teaspoons of baking soda for this recipe. This is going to make a lot of cupcakes. I would say probably 3 dozen or more. So 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 1, 2 teaspoons. Then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use some more refined white sea salt, because my real salt does have a lot of minerals in it. And you'll notice if you use it very much, I like it, but if you crunch down on a piece of bread or a piece of cake with real salt in it, a lot of times you will get a hold of a mineral, and it'll feel like you've been into a rock. So 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of ground ginger. Here. Don't overdo your spices in this, or you will regret it. You'll get a hot cake instead of something that's sweet and mild. Let's see, ground ginger. Half teaspoon of allspice. I don't use quite a half a teaspoon in my recipe. I know I've got that on here because that's the original, but I'm going to do a scant of a half teaspoon for sure. 1 scant. Half teaspoon. Okay. Next, your cloves. It's also very spicy. I don't use an entire quarter teaspoon. I just use a pinch of cloves. They're very hot. Of course, you can adjust it depending on what you like. You know, after you try the recipe. You stole my spoon. You did. You stole my spoon. Mix those dry ingredients. It'll make it easier to make a uniform batter once you start adding your wet ingredients. Okay, let's go ahead also and add our sugar. 1 cup. You see why I'm using my recipe. There are a lot of small ingredients in this recipe. And then 1 cup of brown sugar. Doesn't have to be packed. The next ingredients will be our wet ingredients. Go ahead and mix that up. I got a lot of compliments on these when I took them to Thanksgiving one year. I'm going to show you all 2 different ways to dress them up, to take them to family get-togethers. One of them is a little bit fancier than the other one, and one of them children like a little bit more. I think kids like cupcakes just by themselves a little bit more. But we're also going to do a pumpkin trifle. Okay, so let's add the butter. 1 full cup, 2 sticks of butter. One. 2. These are at room temperature. Otherwise, you will never get them through this cake batter if they're cold and hard. Okay. Let's add 4 eggs. One teaspoon of vanilla. And the next thing, the last thing will be our pumpkin puree, 1 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. And a few minutes later, after mixing for a while, you're going to get a batter. I'd like to encourage everybody watching, whether you're a Christian or non-Christian, God wrote a love story about His love for us. It's the Bible, and it's available to everyone. If you don't read your Bible, I encourage you to pick it up and read it. Whether you're Christian or not, don't take my word for it or anyone else's word for it. I know a lot of people see Christianity in a negative light, but you won't find that if you read the Bible. So I encourage you to pick it up, read it, see for yourself what Christianity is all about and what the love of God is all about. Because there's nothing that I can tell you as well as the Bible can explain it to you. Okay, I'm going to do another pan of these. I would say I have at least 3 dozen cupcakes here in this bowl ready to be baked. I'm going to bake them on 350 degrees for about 25 minutes. You all know from our previous videos how to do a poke test and see if a cake or a cupcake is finished. Go ahead and stick a knife or a toothpick in the middle of it. If it comes out clean, your cupcake is done. So let's put these in the oven and we'll be back when they're done. Okay, I gave my cupcakes a few hours to completely cool down, and they all look pretty even. I've got some that look probably a little bit prettier than others. So I'm going to show you all a couple of ways to dress these up. Now, one thing you're going to need is one recipe of our whipped cream. Go to the Hillbilly Kitchen on YouTube and find out how we make whipped cream, and add to that recipe a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon or a sprinkle of cinnamon, and that's going to match really well with all the spices in the cupcakes. You'll like it. Okay, and you're also going to need for the cupcakes some pipeable cream cheese icing. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do that just for this particular recipe. You're going to need 1 pad of cream cheese at room temperature, a half a stick of butter, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 2.5 cups, thereabout, of confectioner's sugar. Now I fitted my pastry bag, I use disposable pastry bags, with an open star, or I'm sorry, a closed star tip, a large one for cupcakes. I'm going to fold down the edge of my pastry bag to keep from getting all kinds of mess all over the top of it. And just spoon it in. Just swirl it starting from the middle and go straight up. It's very easy. And as a simple little topping, I went out and got some candy corn. You can decorate like that. And those will be nice and presentable for a party. Or here's my other option for you for decorating these. So let's go ahead and get one. Take it out of the wrapper. I've got my whipped cream here. Fill the bottom of a crystal cup like this with the whipped cream I told you about. Add a little bit of cinnamon. A little more. Okay. Cut your cupcake in half. Lay half of it in the bottom on top of that whipped cream. Do another layer of whipped cream. Put the other half of the cupcake on. A little more whipped cream. And you can either finish it with whipped cream or with cream cheese icing. I'm going to finish it off with cream cheese icing on top. And a little pumpkin. Very cute for a party. And those are pumpkin cupcakes with cream cheese icing and as a trifle for a party. Thank you all for watching the Hillbilly Kitchen. We'll see you next time.